Welcome to this exciting stream of a feature that I know you are all very excited to hear about. And I am very excited about as well. We are all excited. We're going to talk about storage today, which as a term does not sound super exciting, but it absolutely is. What it does is we've talked about persistent storage. So this project, maybe you guys remember, was when I taught persistent storage. That VOD is still up, I believe. And we will hopefully get it transferred over to YouTube. I'm going to double check on that after this to make sure. But this is up and should be give you a basic primer on how we do regular storage in project by connected player storage. Right. And then a couple of VODs ago, for 2 VODs, we talked about how to use a leaderboard, which is sort of a different category of storage that lets you access data regardless of whether or not a player is connected. So what we're going to talk about right now is what was already in this project. We're going to go over how we did persistence here. I'll send you all of the documentation that we've got. We've got actually a really nice chunk of documentation for shared persistence, or shared storage, or shared key persistence, or what else have we called it? It has had many names, but we're going to call it shared storage or cross-game storage periodically, because that's its storage that you can use in multiple games. But first, we're going to talk about this project. So what we did is we used a thing called a collectible resource pickup. So you can grab this, and if you just drag it into your game, it starts out with this gem. You can give it a name, you can give it a value, you could make it give back health, and you can add visual and sound effects for the pickup. Just drag and drop in there. If you take this and the resource display, which is now displaying on top of my other resource display, but it's teeny tiny, then you can see that basically you can hook up this UI to this thing, and with absolutely zero coding, I have a collectible resource in my game. This is all drag and drop. You could add this to your game right now. If you've got a parkour game and you want to add some coins for people to collect, you can do that. You can say the max resource, and I believe in the display, there's even an option to show it as a progress bar. So say you made basically like a collection quest, it would be really easy to show that. Now, this doesn't have like the logic for like actually telling you that you won if you collected them all. You'd have to program that probably with a resource changed event, but it is all here and it's pretty awesome. So we got this and we set this up, and for us, we made 2 rupees, which are, of course, the national currency of India and therefore not copyrighted. Well, rupee is. The plural of rupee is not rupees, but, we're going to anglicize it in a completely original way that no one has ever thought of before. So we made these rupees, and we've got 2 of them. One is green, and it is worth 1. Let's see, if I collect the green rupee, and I made these templates so that we could use the object generator to distribute them. I think we did anyway. It looks like we didn't actually here, but we've got a green rupee here. It is worth its resource change, right, which is its value is worth 1. And then we've got the red rupee here, and its resource change should be, I click the geometry, over here is 5. So if I run, let's see here, I somehow, for some reason, which has to do with this, I have 24 resources. So when I pick this up, I have 29, and then this should get me to 30. And the amazing thing that persistence did is when I disconnect and connect again, I start with 30 rupees, right? And I literally did this project, I think 3 weeks ago, and I've still got my 30 rupees. So that's pretty magical. And then, so the way we did this is we made this shared resource script, and it's actually pretty simple. When a player joins, we ask the storage how many rupees they have. And when they disconnect, we tell the storage how many rupees they had when they disconnected. And that updates the server. And we don't actually, the rest of the time, the game can just handle it. We don't need to update the server every time you get a rupee. And so the way we do this is this 3-part dance. We say, okay, I'm going to make a variable called storage and use storage.getPlayerData to get a table for the player data. So we did, we said storage, and we took this gives us back a table. And the key to get that in the main storage table was the player. So now I get a table of values for the player. And then in that table, I create a new table. Well, I create a new key, right, which is rupees. And I set it to however much of rupees the player has. And I can do that using this player get resource code. And then the step 3 is we say storage.setPlayerData, and we give it this whole storage here is we give it the whole table. You can't just give it part of a table. You need to make a copy of the table, change part of that copy, and then give it the whole table back, or you'll erase your other data, which we don't want. And if you're interested in this, we have a persistent storage tutorial. You can find it in docs under tutorials. And it will show you how not to just do one thing, right? But to actually persist all of your resources and persist other things like equipment. And that's it. Basically, if we finish getting this across games today, then we're going to try it with the dungeon framework so that some of you D&D folks can take your D&D game, make some new levels for it, and have your players jump around them with all of their experience and equipment and everything. So storage is the whole storage table. That is what I added up here because I'm not joking around about this. And so this is our save resource. And if you guys recall correctly, one of the first steps that we had to do in order to get this is we had to go into game settings and select enable player storage. You're going to have to do that too for cross game storage. So that's probably step one. And next we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys all of the links to the docs. We're going to go to docs and get out of the API, and we have the core editor manual. And in here we have shared data storage. This document links to the rest, although I think the example, link might be wrong. But essentially we've got net reference, which is something that we were already using for global leaderboards. So also around here though, like I was just saying, is if you want to do in tutorials, we also have a persistent storage tutorial. So you can check out this reference. And this is essentially, we've got basically at the end, we've got a couple of patterns for things you could do to set this up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out that there is now a shared storage window. So if I go to view, just like if I need to open up properties because I've closed it, or I need to find the event log because it's not open by default, there is now something called shared storage. And you can have, so this is keys. You can have up to 8 keys across all of your projects. And one key is like a whole storage table. So that can hold everything you need. The reason you would use like multiple keys in a project is, say in this world, you don't even have to use all of the player data that something comes with, right? So it's not like, it's maybe if you've got some sort of like blended world that crosses your fantasy universe with your sci-fi universe, and you need to get the sci-fi weapons but the fantasy gold, something like that, then you might use multiple keys in a project. But for the most part, you can use one key across many, many, many projects. And that's what we're going to demo here. Okay, so we are going to create a new shared key. We're going to give it a name, and it's going to be Ocarinesque data. Something like that. I don't know. That's a very made up word that I just did, and probably irresponsible of me for it. Okay. So now I've got this thing, and you'll notice that this is blue and ticked to the right. I mean, you might not know to begin with, but that means it is enabled. So as soon as I create a key in a project, it's automatically enabled for that project. So we have this key, and we can edit it, and you'll see that pretty much the only thing we can do is edit the name. And then in our options, we can pretty much just delete it and find in project content. So this is the second thing we're going to do, is we're going to find in project content. So you could click this and click it, and it will take you to there. But instead, we're going to learn that there is now a new section of our project content called My Shared Keys. So let's say I would like to, in save resources, now use this. So I'm going to add it as a custom property there. And this is a net reference. So if we added a custom property, we'll see we've got this thing called net reference. We could call this special key, something like that. And if I stick this in here, you'll see it's perfectly happy because that's the type of thing it is. It's a net reference, which is really just like an address to the data table, right? Yeah, we'll remove that. So we're going to do like we always do with the custom variable. We're going to copy this and we're going to put it at the top of our save resources and put it right here. And now I could be wrong about this, but here's what I think. There's no reason to use my game specific storage for the things that I'm going to be persisting. We can put those on one table. We don't need them on both tables. So I'm going to change everything that we did to use this data key now instead. So instead of using get player data, we're going to literally write get shared player data. And right now I've got this prop. I'm just going to change the name of this variable to key like that. I don't think that's a reserved keyword. So that's a keyword. And then this needs the net ref and the player. Right? That's it. That's the only thing I had to do different from regular storage, right? And then this is just local stuff. This just sets storage and gets these things out, right? Now, basically what we have right now is we say, okay, local, we're going to make a variable that is the number of rupees that are currently in that table. Okay, this is actually going to empty out my rupees. That's something to keep in mind. So we could basically have, like, say, the first time I run this, have it grab the ones that I have. Because it's going to look at now this storage, and that basically all this does is says if they have rupees, then we're going to set the resource to the number that they have. And if they have no rupees, then we're going to set their resource to 0. And that's how we get everybody started. Now, in the second stage, what we're going to do is we're going to say storage.get shared player data. This is what we'll do. We'll keep this at player data for now. And we'll take the key out. And we'll keep that there. And then we're also basically going to check if it has it on these things. So we'll say local shared storage equals storage dot get shared player data. And then we'll have key and player, right? And remembering that key is the net ref for my shared key. And then basically I'm going to say, local rupees equals, okay, this is going to be weird. Ready? Shared storage. I think this will work. Shared storage rupees. We'll find out. This might not work. Or that's not how we do. Or storage rupees. Okay. So the idea is that if you have a phrase like this and one of them is nil, because of the way or works, it means it has to go to the other one. So the idea is you check shared storage, and if it's nil, then you're going to grab storage. And then that way I can basically set this up, and everything else uses rupees. So rupees sort of sorts out which one we're using. But now let's get the, there it is, shared player data. And in this, whenever we use the shared player data, because we can have multiple keys, we need to give it the key. We need to give it the key first. And then player.get resource is fine. And then here we're going to say set shared player data, and it's going to be key player storage. And that's the idea, is that now it's going to persist. So let's see what I broke with that. We'll put this guy down here so we can keep track of it. And we'll open the event log for all of the errors that we're not going to have, so it's fine. And everything seems to be going fine. So it did count me as having rupees. It'd be interesting. I know what we'll do is my bots should not have rupees. So if we do 2 bots, we'll press play. And we basically, the scenario in which it should default, it should be weird, is when you have 0. And we'll have you run over here. You've also got 0. And when we grab one, it should be fine. And close the game. Close game. Yeah. And nothing broke yet. So it said player has no rupees. So we got through everything we wanted. Should be totally fine. So that was it. We did it. We persisted resources across games. So now to do this, we need to publish this game. We need to publish this. We're going to make it unlisted and keep the change seem fine. A game where you can pick up 2 rupees and keep them forever. We'll take a screenshot. No, that's a different project. Here's my rupees. Clearly the most important feature here. I think I need this to be slightly centered because sometimes the edges get cut off. Okay. And what are we missing? Open for editing. No, that's not what I want. Release. And we need tags. And we're going to call this experimental. Okay. So now we can review and publish this. That's a start. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to make a second game. Okay. Actually, I think we can open an old game. I think I still have it. We'll see. And we're not going to play it now. But I do want to... I don't need this. Okay. So let's make a new project. So we're going to say back to main menu. We're going to... Somewhere is it? Too many things. There it is. My don't call it Kakariko Village. Kakariko Village. Okay. Does this have rupees? Rupees. Okay. And I don't know if this, how I've actually haven't tested whether this will be emulated. Okay, so let's look at this resource text that's up here. Resource pickup. It's called rupees. I already have rupees in this game. That is what I'm talking about, but it is not persisted. So I don't have to worry about any conflicts, which my method before might be a little weird. Okay, anyway. And we've got them here. Max value is 99, and this should show up. So if I press play, I have 0 rupees, and we're good. Okay, so let's try to add shared key persistence in this. We're going to go to view, and we're going to open the shared, where is it? Shared storage. And I'm going to enable this key in here. I don't need to create a new one. That would not help me with my goal right now. Okay. So now, if I recall correctly, we did not add any scripts to this. Resource display and resource pickup are part of the templates that I used, right? But I don't have anything that persists it. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lazily use the script generator to grab the player join leave script, player join leave, and we're going to create a new script, which is shared resource getter setter. Wow, I'm bad at naming things. Shared resources. Okay, and we'll create the script. Okay, now I have this. We'll open it up, and on player join, we need to find out what their shared storage resource is. So we're going to say, the first thing we're going to need to do before I can do this is, of course, we need to give it the netref. So let me put this guy down here. We'll open project content. We'll open my shared keys. We've got this. Okay, we need to grab the script and put it in the hierarchy. So now I need my shared keys. That's still added, so I can just drag this in here as a custom property, and I can copy all of this and add it to the top of my script. Okay, boom. Okay, and we're gonna say, we don't need this anymore. We're gonna say, we're gonna change this to key. And we're gonna say, local storage equals storage dot get shared player data player, right? Because this event, when it happens, will give us the player to work with. We just know that because it's one of the things that's returned. Will give us the player for us to put into this function so that I can say whichever player connected, we're gonna get their data, right? And then we're gonna do the little dance we do, which is local rupees equals storage, and it's capital R in both implementations of it, which is nice. Storage rupees, and if not, if you don't have any rupees, right? If rupees is nil, then we're gonna say player dot set resource rupees 0, and this is the longest I've done anything from memory ever in core. Else player.set rupees to rupees. And I think I did this in reverse order. I said if you have them, we'll set to that, and if not, it's 0. And this time I said if you don't have them, you're 0, and if not. Okay, so that's it. That's actually all we should need to do so far. I've even already got the resource thing up there, so let's see how this works, right? Find out. I don't know if it's actually going to emulate the storage across my projects in this local play, but that's why we're going to netref received player value at index is not properly referenced desired type. All right, I wrote something wrong. Expected netref received player. So I did these in the wrong order, it sounds like. Okay, so here I did, I needed the key. We knew this, that's the thing. So it said expected netref got player, and that's because there's supposed to be a netref there, and then the player. So now it should be happy. And I actually have no idea what this does locally. Player storage is disabled. So we know this one, game settings, enable player storage, resume, escape. Did that stick? Yeah, it did. All right, so now we press play and everything's fine. And I have, oh, you guys can't see it. You can't see it. Oh man, resource display. We're gonna set you up to, this is so cool. I had no idea. Resource display. How am I doing time-wise? Oh, I'm doing so good on time. Okay, cool. What do I want to do? I want to get in and I want to change the size of your text is what we're trying to do. That's in here in this panel. And there's the text. And we're going to change you to 72. That is 782. That's too much. That's out of control. And then we'll grab the entire thing and just slide this over here. It's a carrot. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, this is not good UI design. But that's not where we are. And look how many carrot rupees I have. But okay, here's the thing that is really worth noting about using this as a part of a larger project, right? Where I've got different parts, and I'm going to show you the whole portal system, right? Because portals are so flippin' easy. Is that my UI doesn't match. There's nothing that makes it match out of the box. And if I want it to match, I would have to export one as a template or share it as a template and then move it across projects. If I have 10 projects connected and I want to change something in all of them, I am going to change it individually 10 times. And I was talking to some game developers who are working on it. That means probably making some spreadsheet somewhere where you've got all of these values so you can keep track of it. It's for these beefy projects that I know you guys are about to go out there and make, and I am very excited for you. It is going to create some duplicate labor. So keep that in mind. And if you are super overwhelmed by that, then I suggest checking out our collaboration resource and getting some friends who want to help you. Because it is, it's super cool, but as you can see, there's just no match between my UI, and that was my basic takeaway from that. Okay, so let's add a portal here. And I'm going to put the portal, let's put the portal right there on that rock so we have to run for it, which I'm going to regret. Oh, there's a rupee there. All right, we'll put the portal. I think one of these is a stump house that I can get inside. Is it you? Got a better one. No, it's not this one. Okay. Maybe this is, I don't know. Anyway, we'll put the portal in the Deku tree. That'll be great. Okay. So let's look up the portal. So we've got a portal, game portal. It's a whole thing. So if I stick it in here and we have to get close to it, you'll see, you've probably seen this before. This is the standard look of, let's see, we've got the whole thing selected. So the standard look of a portal, you're super familiar with it, but secretly, I don't actually have to have any of this. So since we all know where it is, I'm going to go ahead and de-instance this. And right, there's nothing in geometry that I need. This is just the VFX. Yeah. So I'm going to just delete everything that's here. In Geo. We'll just delete it. It's gone now. So all we have now is a trigger and a script that makes it do the thing. And we'll notice that if I click here, then I can click destination game. And right now it's going to send me to Core Plaza. So what I need is my game that I just published. And did I actually paste that? I didn't. So I need my destination game, and I wish I had saved it, but I didn't. So we're going to save all this, and we're going to go back to the main menu, file. We need to publish this too. All right, we're going to publish you, and we'll put this as a portal in the other game so that we can super test this. So we're going to publish this, and we're going to say it's a little village of tree people. Give it the experimental tag. It's one of my favorite ones because it's no, that's the shrug emoji of tags. And we'll take a screenshot. Oh, we've already got one. Beautiful. Okay. And we'll review and publish this. Wait. I actually want this to be private, please. Thank you. Okay, so this is your general ideas. If you were using this if you were using this to create, for example, a D&D game, but any large game, right? You would probably have only one public game. And that's where you would go, because you wouldn't want your players to start in the wrong place or start in a dungeon or something like that. So you would have one game that's your public game, and then these private games that you can go to and return. And that's and you basically, unless you have the link from the creator for testing, the only way you would be able to get to them or find them would be through links from portals and things like that. So we're going to publish this as unlisted as well. Review and publish. And this time we're going to copy the URL. And as you may have noticed so here's my full URL. And the part that I need for a portal, I don't know, I can't make this any bigger, but the part that I need for the portal is I'll copy the whole thing. We're going to go back to the first game and add a portal so that we can really go back. So back to main menu. And we'll go back to keep the change and we'll edit it. And we'll add a portal in it, and I'm just going to keep the VFX this time. So game portal is this thing right here. You all know it and love it. And yeah, we've got it here. And destination game, I'm just going to paste that thing that I just gave you in there. So yeah, MMORPG with like persistent equipment and stuff like that. Extremely super possible. This is why this had to be the subject of this stream, because what this opens up is like mind-blowing. Okay, so it's here. We're gonna save that and then file. I need to republish this, review and update unlisted, and yeah, and so the only problem with just testing it right now, so I will give you the link and then hopefully I can update the other one so that the portal goes back, because basically I need the back, but we can all jump into this one. It's not going to be a fun game, as I have rigorously pointed out, but we're going to go to this portal and we're going to give it the end of that URL, so just the DEA5A3 and then the title of the game. So if I go to this portal, you'll see destination game. I can put that there and save it. Are we saved? Yep. And then we're going to publish that, but we're going to get into keep the change. All right, fine. File, back to main menu. I want to play this one. Okay. Nope, that's local. Darn it. I don't do this nearly enough. All right, get the shareable link, copy. How do I just play from here? Okay. I promise I'm not. All right, I'll log in. Log in. All right, now I can play. All right, and you guys are welcome to join me or not. There's only so much value to it, but experiential learning is important, so mad respect for that. See here, we'll let it load up, and here is the great trick that I'm hoping to see. Right, I have 0 rupees because this is now I have 5 and 6, and the idea is I will jump through this portal. I will jump through this portal and press F. I will walk up. Hello, friendos. Good to see you guys. Welcome. All right, we will all go through this portal and hopefully still have our 6 rupees. If I take them, did you guys not have them? I thought that was client side. I don't actually know. We'll find out. Yep. So here are these little games, have never been loaded before by me or anyone else. We're loading, and here they are. And I have 6 rupees. And at the end of that extremely long plank, I challenge you, is a blue rupee, which should be 20. Wow, just running. I fall off that so much. And in Ocarina, this is only vaguely inspired by. Yeah. Oh, and the tonk, that's super important. So yeah, that is basically GG. Yeah. So there's definitely some stuff we would like to do with it's 5 rupees. Oh. Okay, I guess I messed up which one's red and which one's blue, which I do all the time. But yeah, we should be able to ride our witch broom over to the Deku tree and with absolute ease jump back and reload the old game. And I don't know, I guess I didn't make the resource respawner. So I believe there is in community content. We could work on that now. Because I don't think I have enough time to try this with the D&D game, but no, we're going to try it anyway. So if I go here, then I have an option to take a portal to another world, and you can change that text. You can make it not interactable so that you just jump through, and we're back here, and I've got my 6, but there are no more rupees to be had. I should have added more rupees to the project. Okay, this was the demo. Thank you guys for checking out this like super, super rudimentary version of it, and now we're going to try it with a dungeon framework game. So if I want to persist this, let's create a new key. So we'll start with the shared storage, and we're going to create a new key, and this is going to be RPG stuff, right? Because let's just assume these worlds are just like completely separate. I've got my distinct franchises, and I think I don't want a space in there. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep I don't like spaces. So, and this is enabled and the other one is not, right? And we now know that I can go into my shared keys and I'll find RPG stuff. And we also know that I need to find game settings and enable player storage, which is already enabled because we already have storage. So what am I going to do? I'm going to find two scripts, resource persister and equipment persister. And these are the two, and we're going to just hugify that so that we can look at them. And we can see that it's basically doing the exact same thing that we did before. Now, normally when I do core scripts, I actually try not to change them and just create different copies of them because I can't go back to the original. It's not like you can just like drag it out. But in this case, I'm feeling lazy, so we're going to do it. We're going to say local, we need to add the netref. So we'll minimize this and then we will take these two scripts. Can I add it to both of them at the same time? We'll find out. And add that. And oh, look at that. Okay, so both of these now have, do they? Both of these now have, nope, it just added to the one. No, they both have the key. So we can add this to both of them now. That's fun. Okay. Where's that? So we'll just right here, just add this variable to the top of both of these. And resource is going to be really easy. Because I don't have to change a whole lot. So I'm going to say local shared data. And this is just I don't even know if this is a good way to do this, but we're going to say storage. I'm even going to copy paste this because I'm lazy. So we'll copy this and I'll put this in here and it's going to be get shared player data. I'm going to grab prop RPG stuff as the name of my key. I'm going to put that as the first thing before player and we're going to put that there, right? And then let's see here on resource change. So this is actually saving it every time the resource changes. So this is if the player, so instead of, when I did resources, I just I just added rupees to the player table. So it's player rupees, right? But this is like, okay, we're going to have multiple resources and we can look up all of the resources for a player. So we shouldn't save them all individually. We should make a table called resources that is associated with player. And anything I add to resources will be part of my save. So this is actually really convenient. And if you do the persistent storage tutorial, you'll see something like this. So we're going to say check shared data first. And if it doesn't have it, then check player data. Just copy this. And I'm going to basically check shared resources. Now we're going to check the player data. And if it doesn't have it there, then we're going to say, and we're going to keep shared data here. And if it does have it, then we're going to make the shared data's table the shared data dot resources equals player data dot resources. Okay, so what let me just go on here, right? Is we say resources saved with project resources across games, right? This is for multiple games. Then we say, okay, so if there's no shared data table called resources, then look if there's a player data called resources. And if there isn't one of those either, then go ahead and make a blank table for resources in shared data. And if not, so this should be else, not then. And if not, then go ahead and set, if there is a player data but not a shared data, then make the shared data one the player data one. And then we're going to say shared data dot resources is the resources that we want, and we're going to set the storage dot set shared player data to shared data. So now we're only persisting it in the main key that we use, but we're saving our local one. And you could keep your local one for stuff that's just specific to the game, right? Your game specific table. But right now we're trying to change this. Okay, so when the player joins, we're going to do basically, this is on resource change. Why is on resource change before player joins? So we're basically going to do this same song and dance, right? We're going to grab this. We'll put this here. And we can even replace, this is the exact same thing. So we're going to replace all of this with this here. And then for resource value and this is going to be shared data, we're going to do basically give the player all of the resources in there. And then player.resource event connect this on resource change. So whenever they change the resource, we save it. I don't do it that way. Okay. I save it when they disconnect, but it kind of does make sense to do it this way too. So this is going to be hard to try, but let's just see if this breaks right now so that we can catch any of those errors. What do we have? I didn't add the key to something. It looks like resource perceptor 39, expected net reference received player, right? So we know what that is because I do it all the time. And that is I forgot to put the key in. So we'll grab this. We'll look at 39. Oh, Control Z. That needs to stay that. And set shared player data needs a key and then the player and then the data. Should be fine. So basically, on mine, I did on player join and on player leave, and this one does on player join and then updates the data in storage every time the resource changes. And there's actually not, I don't think, a big cost to that because it doesn't, at least I'm thinking of leaderboards, it doesn't like instantly do that, so you should be fine. In terms of like, you're not going to incur a bunch of server costs by updating a bunch because it sort of handles that for you. So that should solve our errors at least. And nothing is broken. And that was the hope, right? Okay, so let's get me some gold. And we're gonna do this the lazy way. So, if I go into the loot drop factory and I look at rare and I find loot bag 25 and I find that it references this thing called loot bag 25, I can say find an asset catalog. It gives me loot bag 25 and I just drag it out right here. Boom. Okay, you guys excited? Okay, so we're going to press play and we will pick this up. We'll pick this up like that. We get 25. And then when we escape and press play again, and the preview mode thing goes away, we'll see that I now start with 25 coins, right? And that should keep saving. So that's our baseline. Now you can imagine, right, if we really want to do this as a game, then this portal, this is actually a teleporter. And we would just change this into a game portal. You could just delete the VFX, put it in there. You can turn interactable off if you want just when you walk through. Although you can't really walk through this. So it's a little bit of a weird one. But look at that specularity. But yeah, so you would make all three of these portals to different games that we would persist across. So let's do that. So we'll go to dungeon 1 is a teleporter, right? That's the wrong dungeon. We want this teleporter. Dungeon portal. Portal VFX. Okay, so this is what we want. And I want dungeon portal. I'm going to just stick a game portal in there. Portal. And we're going to literally just stick it in this dungeon portal, which should put it right there. Okay. And we're going to, not that it matters, because actually I can press V to see where the trigger actually is, but I do want it to cover up this whole space. And I think probably the easiest way is to have it do that. Okay, we'll add this here, and then again, we're actually going to just delete. We're going to add a couple things. So I'm actually going to turn interactable off so that as soon as you go up to it, it moves you. And I'm going to delete the geometry. Okay, delete. And then the last thing is we're going to delete this teleporter. So where are you? And we'll delete you. Okay, so this should now go somewhere else, but right now it goes to Core Plaza. And I'm not published, so I don't think it's going to do, you can't test it right now. So now I've got 25, and I can't, not in a local game can I test it. Okay. Unable to transfer players outside of online mode. Okay, weird. So we're gonna publish this. Save. This is gonna be RPG test, seems perfectly fine. A really bare bones RPG with some shared persistence. Tag, you know what tag it's gonna be. It's gonna be experimental. Is there anyone directly after me, Tobbs? Are you still here, by the way? Because I'm getting close on time and I do actually want to finish this. And we'll take a screenshot. Sure. Why not? Not public. Go back. We would like this to be unlisted. Let's try to make it jump to another RPG game because obviously this is very misleading screenshot. We can take it down after this. And I'm just gonna go ahead and paste this in the chat so I don't lose it next time. Not that it matters that much, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new framework project. So we're gonna go back to main menu. We're gonna create new framework dungeon crawler RPG test 2, the sequel. And this one is going to, I guess, have the teleporter. Anyway, it doesn't actually matter. It's going to spawn me in the spawn point, but we're going to try to set up the resource persistence the same way we just did. And I should have just copied that script. Wait, is it still open? I should have just copied that script. Okay. Let's just do the on-player joined part. So we're going to do storage.get. We got to activate the key. Step 1, activate key. Storage is already activated, so we don't have to do that. We'll do shared storage, enable RPG stuff. That's done. Now it's here. I add it to the script. I copy it here. And equipment's going to be like a little bit more complex, so I did sort of choose the easier one here. But basically, I'm going to say storage. We'll add this variable. And I'm going to do this the really lazy way. I'm going to just do get shared player data. And this should set shared player data. And we need, in both of these, we need prop RPG stuff. Control C, Control V, comma, space, Control V, comma, space. And then when they join, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be, we'll just grab this. And when they join, we'll set the resources based on that. And then, so in this one, let's say this world has never had anybody in it. They don't have any persistent resources. There's no reason that I need to like make sure that I don't overwrite that because it's a new world that I just created, that I just added. So hopefully this works, and we're going to publish this. We're going to publish this locally. Yeah, go ahead and save. RPG test 2 looks good. You know what tag it is? It's experimental because this is an experiment, and we're going to delete it afterwards. Another RPG. Okay, and it is going to be unlisted. Screenshot, sure. And then we're going to review and publish. And then I'm going to copy this. And I don't know if you guys are playing around in the other game. God bless you. You know, there's a full game in here, so it's pretty good. So we're going to copy this link. I'll go ahead and paste it in chat so that I don't lose it. And I don't know, you guys can get in it if you want to, but it's not really our goal here. So we're going to go back to the main menu. We're going to go to RPG test 1. And we're going to change this portal to, where are you at? Portal friend. You're right here, right? This trigger is it. Where are you? Where are you? Trigger game portal. Oh, I'm just going to search it. Game portal. Okay. Is this? And here is where I paste the back end part of that. And I'm going to put this in here and we'll save it. We're going to update it. Save. Yes. And review and update. Update unlisted. And now you guys can join me for this experiment if you want. If that is something that interests you. So visit game page now, play now. Okay. So I don't have any gold, but I do have this chest here. So I'm going to pick up the chest. And we get that and we have 25. And the goal is that we can jump through here, load up our other game, which is again going to take a while because this is the first time that we've done it. And as we can see, I have 25 gold. We did it, friends. That's it. This is the dream. We have lived it. So equipment's going to be like a little bit more tricky, but the secret is look for where it's using storage. And on your one game, you want to say, okay, let's start with our player storage and basically check if there's something in there before we just overwrite it with saying, well, there's nothing in the shared storage. Okay, so thank you, everyone. That was our cool trick of the day. I'm super excited to see everything that you guys are going to build with this new feature, which is like, frankly, one of the coolest things that's come to core since I started. This is a game changer and I am really, really excited. If you have any questions, the Core Academy section of the Discord. So there's a little Core Academy channel. You can use that. You can also ping me. I'm just at Slinkous, SLINKOUS. You can ping me on that if you have any questions, because we're really interested in people trying it out, seeing what problems they have, giving you better stuff. And yeah, good luck. I will see you all. Where are you at, OBS? Help me. in the future.